All right, B. I gotta take a piss. I just walked back from 17-16 and decided to do the cardinal sin of leaving where I was at watching the game to go watch the game somewhere else. And maybe if you want to blame that loss on me, by all means do so. But yeah, Auburn sucks ass. This is gonna be a very honest. I always do honest reviews when I do Auburn stuff. So just understand, like this is not gonna be me sugarcoating silver lining. I don't fuck all that. Go listen to my man Justin Ferguson if you want like the silver line. I don't do that. Anyway, so this is gonna be about it's gonna be a game review. You don't want to hear a whole game review because the review really is Auburn did really well for 3 quarters and they fucking sucked ass for the last. I'll say really they did well for about 2.5 quarters, but the point being they sucked ass for the last quarter, which mattered. So getting into the problem, let probleme that I don't think enough people have talked about, at least not enough Auburn people, because they have to sell you tickets. They have to sell you on coming back to their podcast and large micro explanations and problems will make you like sit there and be like, well, should I really come back to this podcast? We really are that bad? I don't give a shit if you come back to it. I do these with no views intended. So this is going to be honest. Auburn has a problem that's a culture thing. If you see Pablo Escobar, this not YouTube, it's Twitter, he talked about it. There's an identity problem here. And identity problems don't get fixed no matter how much fucking talent you accrue. Look at A&M. No matter how much talent A&M got, the simple fact that Jimbo's a loser never got resolved. They had Walter Nolan, they had Evan Stewart, whoever you want to say. Being a loser does not get resolved with additional talent. And Hugh Freeze, and I don't mean this as a personal shot. I don't personally enjoy the backstory of Hugh Freeze to this point at all. But I don't mean this in particular as a personal shot. Hugh Freeze is a loser on the field. Off the field, $5 million coach, got paid top 10 money by Auburn when nobody else wanted him. Got paid tons of money by Ole Miss, by Liberty. Winner in every respect. His wife still stayed with him after whole allegations, or not really allegations, it got proven, but the whole escort situation. Family still together. He's a winner in any respect. If I could have the career, the life of Hugh Freeze, I'd take in a heartbeat. But the fucking on the field aspect of Hugh Freeze, that motherfucker's career peaked 10 years ago. That second win over Alabama. Well, that was 9 years ago, the second win over Alabama. But the first one kind of got him to about where his peak was at, plateaued at that point. And it never got better than that. And his coaching acumen has peaked 9 years ago. People don't understand in 2014 against an Auburn team that got, because of turnovers, walloped against Mississippi State. I mean, they lost by 15. I don't know about wallop. They lost against Mississippi State because of turnovers. And then Ole Miss, in a home game against that same opponent, lost against Auburn. And I will say it was a 3-4 matchup, two playoff caliber teams, but lost on a Laquan Treadwell breaking his leg in a touchdown situation and fumbling the ball. But he lost that game, and then he proceeded to lose other games in that season. And then he proceeded to lose in 2015 after beating Alabama with having pole position in the SEC West. He lost to, I believe, an unranked Arkansas at that time, but their ass kicked against that unranked Arkansas team that year, if I remember correctly. That was a 10-3 season, if I remember. 10-3 or 9-4. So he turned the Alabama win to nothing, and then they proceeded to be, I want to say 0-5 in one-score games in 2016. If you go look at 2016 situation, they were up by 20 against Alabama, lost that game by 10. They had fucking hella one-score losses. I was looking at it 2 weeks ago. I mean, this guy is a loser. In these situations, these tough situations, this guy is a perennial loser. And then against more recently, it's not against Alabama's or Ole Miss Ole Miss, Georgia's or whoever, those type of it's against California and Arkansas, New Mexico State again. I think Willie would have been, it's at least 2 New Mexico State losses in a row. Might have been 3. But just as a bona fide leader in the situation, in the game, before, during, and should be after the game, in a position to win, this guy loses every time. He always loses. And it doesn't matter if you get Deuce Knight, who has been effectively spooked away. As I understand, this is the deadline they set for Deuce Knight this weekend. It's OV. And they just told him, like, if you don't commit now, you're gone. He's happy to be gone. He can't trust the fucking guy that's supposed to be leading the program. That's why he's not committing. It doesn't have anything to do with NIL. Motherfuckers are always like, these old-ass Auburn fans from fucking the boomer generation, always like, well, these fucking black people are getting paid to play football. And they don't fucking just want to get their fucking scholarship. Their degree, their diploma. As somebody with the Auburn diploma, that shit does not automatically get you a job, by the way. Their swag, their free swag, their free room and board. They don't want that. They want to be actually paid for and compensated for getting fucking CTE and getting their asshole blown apart. Like the way fucking Michael Hawkins got. Did Michael Hawkins' ass fucking knocked around like a damn a test dummy in a car? And you want that dude to play for free? For a degree? Anyway, so these guys now, the point being, these guys, these boomer generation motherfuckers, they see a player make money and they're like, well, obviously that's all that matters to these players now is money. It's not. This guy, Hugh Freeze, is not trustworthy. And from an offensive player's perspective, Peyton Thorne, his evaluation led him twice to have Peyton Thorne as his starting caliber quarterback. Twice. Not once. But he saw Peyton Thorne for a whole year. He said, I'm going to run that motherfucker back again. His evaluation also said that behind Peyton Thorne, we had enough with Hank Brown, who I would say has some level of talent, but clearly should not be your only option other than Peyton Thorne on a SEC depth chart. Even in the NIL era, where it's hard to retain backups. And then there's Walker White, who apparently, like, isn't good enough to play over those two dudes. Yes, Cam Coleman, who I will say Cam Coleman had to shut up the critics after the first quarter. Because the last 3 appearances we have from Cam Coleman, I mean, yo, it's been rough. As a Cam Coleman supporter, man, it's been rough. But he shut us up a little. He shut us up a good bit after that first quarter. He really, like, proved, like, hey, this is why I'm, one of your best signings ever in school history. But that's what he's supposed to do with what he got paid. I'm not mad at him getting paid, but he really made sure he got paid before he came to Auburn. He really, really made sure of that. And, I mean, his caliber as a recruit, like, nobody feels bad when, like, the guy that's one of the 10 best prospects in the world for his class, like, loafs around or, like, has drops or any of that. Or, like, even, like, the one play should have been a touchdown where he didn't get the chance to read Thorne's eyes. He ran a post when Thorne, like, was looking for a streak. I wasn't there in the huddle. I don't know what should have been what. But clearly, like, Thorne had an idea. They run all these choice routes, so it really isn't always one guy or the other. Sometimes it's a blend of problems. But with a choice route being, you give a lot of freedom to the receiver to do something, and the receiver decided to run a post where Thorne was like, "Hey, run and go." Very, very flawed moments in this game. But I mean, Cam, like, you can't feel bad for the downs because that's like. He's supposed to be Julio. He's supposed to be whoever. He's supposed to be this elite guy. And you got to see that happen on the field. And for the most part, after that first play, he made up for that first drop. He made up for it. So we need more of that. But it's nice to see him get a return to form to some degree. Malcolm Simmons is a fucking G. I don't know what the larger point was, but the point I'm making now is that these guys are too fucking good for Freeze to misuse them the way you get at times. Like, Malcolm Simmons disappeared for like 2 games, it felt like. Cam, because of injury, it's been slow playing. I don't understand how Perry has not been able to get any burn with, KLS is obviously like one of the best Auburn receivers in as sad as it sounds, as in recent history, like he's one of the best Auburn receivers already after 4 games, 5 games now, I guess. It's sad as fuck to be a reflection of Auburn, but it is what it is. I mean, he's just that good. Fairweather, is good enough to stay on the field. Good enough. I think the whole like he's gonna be first team SEC, like that's done already. I mean, he just has not been that, but he's good enough to be on the field. Robert Lewis makes plays. I guess enough. I would want a little more consistency out of him sometimes, but enough. Same thing with Camden Brown. Camden Brown, somebody that like has shown enough to like you gotta give him the rotation. It's not easy to break our receiver rotation. I'm not saying it is, but like you look at Perry, dude, you're just like this guy needs to be somehow maybe with the punt returner spot. Somehow Keontae Scott keeps on getting that situation, which I don't understand why. I don't. The thing about Keontae is not even just the fumbles. He's not dynamic as a punt returner at this point. I understand he's had his moments in the past. I get it. This season, he has not been dynamic as a punt returner. And he also has, like, the worst situation you can be in is when, like, people have their bated breath, held every time you are in position to catch a punt. And that's where he is at this point. Like, every time, you never know if he's going to get it. And he had one where he kind of buckled back catching it. I was like, yo, please, Scott, please. I can't believe Malcolm or Perry can't get that spot. I know Jeremiah Cowboy, he doesn't because of what we've seen already, but it's just I don't got anything else to say. I said what I got to say. I don't even want to get into the reason why I said what I said. You look at Freeze, you can see it. If you've watched the California game last year, barely pulled it out, barely by skin their fucking teeth. Georgia, Alabama. What other close losses? We had 7 losses last. So we had to have another close loss somewhere, but I don't remember off the top of my Ole Miss. They lost that one when they could have won that game at home. My eyes hurt, dude. Watching that game hurt my fucking eyes. This season, California, you blew at Arkansas. You literally blew ass is what you did. You blew ass. You happened to blow ass against Arkansas, but you just blew ass, period. In this game, like, you have, like, they have to have, like, a 1-7 record in fucking home or close games under Hugh Freeze. They have to. There's no chance they don't 1-5. It has to be something terrible. And maybe they have some wins I'm not thinking about. Like, I mean, they haven't won many games, so it's like I can't be missing too much. I mean, they don't have. Do they have a Power 5? I mean, they had to because they won Cal last, so they have to have one. They have 2. They can't. They can't have more. They can't have much more than 2. I'd say maybe 2, but I can't think what the second one is. I mean, Arkansas. They beat Arkansas. They might have like 3. Because they weren't the worst Power 5 team in the West last year. There were some really shitty West teams last year. So Mississippi State, they beat them because they were dog shit too. So probably about 3 or 4. But I mean, look at the ones they lost. I mean, like, yo, like, win a close one. Like, fuck the beat Arkansas by 30. Fuck KJ. You beat KJ Jefferson by 30. Oh my god. Oh wow. Like, fucking who cares? These dudes, like, Freeze's sour goods, dude. I don't think a top 5 class will help it, man. They're not going to be the top 1 dream is cooked because they're not going to get Deuce Knight. They're not going to get Caleb Cunningham. They probably won't get Naheem offer after what just occurred these past few weeks. So I think the peak is top 5, and it might be worse than that if some decommits come in because, I mean, if this season goes the way it's looking, like they're not going to win more than 4 games. So I would think some decommits occur at some point there. So top 5 is hopeful at this point. But it doesn't matter if he's top 5, dude. They're losing against teams they shouldn't lose against, and they're losing in situations they should not lose in. Oklahoma, I don't care what their blue chip ratio was. They had DBs at receiver today. They had so few guys that even against the secondary has been very suspect these last few weeks. They refused to throw until they had to throw. And when they did throw, a guy sparked Kane Lee's ass and got that almost touchdown. Or it was a touchdown, I think. No, it is almost a touchdown. Almost. Their offensive line is clearly not great. And, it hasn't been great, I think, all season. But clearly it was not amazing today. They were not a great team. They were not great. They were not elite. They not at all. Not even close to that. No, not at all. Not at all. And Auburn lost. Lost against that. So Georgia, that's out the window. Alabama, that's out the window. I don't want to play a schedule game here where to split zone duo, but there's not many wins to be had. Vanderbilt, okay. Missouri, no. A&M, probably not, but that could go either way. They got two could go either way games. I don't know what, like, if they got any more burner games the rest of the season, which burner game, like New Mexico, that's a burner game. But they got maybe 2 wins out of the Power 5 off the top of my head, like maybe 2. So they got to get to 6. That's not happening. That's not, no.